and the more applications they get, the better.
Well, Martin, thank you so much. Martin Creamer will be back with another edition of At the Coalface, same time next Friday. And that's, of course, where we leave it for today and for the week. We'll be back next week. Until then, do take care. Thanks to the production team. Thanks to everybody listening in. Here's Ondela Mbana with your latest news.
Thank you, Sakina and the team. On the stop stories, a woman arrested in connection with Jaden Lee's murder, and Ramaphosa called on to prioritize police killings. For SAFM News, I'm Ondela Mbana, and a very good day. A 31-year-old woman has been arrested in connection with the murder of 11-year-old Jaden Lee Meek. Police say the suspect is a close relative of the boy. The grade 5 learner's bruised body was found on the staircase of a complex in Vleehof, west of Johannesburg in May, where he lives with his family. The learner was dropped off by his school transport at the complex, but according to the boy's mother, who was working from home at the time, her son never made it home. Gauteng Deputy Provincial Commissioner Major General Fred Kekana says they cannot rule out more people being arrested.
No, we can't rule anything out, but for now we have one warrant of arrest which we just executed now, and the suspect is detained here at Roodepoort Police Cells. Monday, the suspect will be appearing at Roodepoort Magistrate Court. I'm calling all those people who were holding placards. They must still come. They must support these things not happening. And they must also comment and appreciate what the police have done.
MK Party Gauteng spokesperson Abel Dao says his party wants a working justice system. Dao attended the court appearance of controversial businessman Vusumuzi Ket Matlala. He appeared in the Alexandra Magistrates Court in Johannesburg with 3 co-accused. He has been charged with attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder related to the alleged attempt to kill his then-girlfriend Tebogo Tobejane. Matlala has been in the spotlight after KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi alleged that he had strong connections with senior police officials. Dao addressed the media outside the court.
We are also here to picket and demonstrate to put pressure on the criminal justice system. For the past times we have seen the justice system, especially the judiciary, holding firm when South Africa needed them the most. And we believe this is the time that South Africa needs them the most. If you heard in court, like you correctly said, that the defense is relying on the loopholes that they may find in the way the state is handling the case. And we want to warn the NPA that they've been botching a few high-profile cases, and they will not do this with this one.
KwaZulu-Natal Premier Thami Ntuli is calling on President Cyril Ramaphosa to prioritize the issue of political killings and to ensure that allegations made by Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi are investigated. Ntuli was addressing the media during a raid at 2 major shops alleged to be hiring illegal immigrants in Durban. Initially, the media was informed that Mkhwanazi would be part of the raid. However, Ntuli says he has learned that Mkhwanazi is out of the province for a meeting which he cannot share details of. This would have been Mkhwanazi's first public appearance after his bombshell revelations accusing Police Minister Senzo Mchunu and top officials of meddling with syndicates. Ntuli elaborates.
We want to see the problem of political killings being dealt with once and for all, especially the orchestrators and the perpetrators to be brought on book. That's point number one. Well, with regard to the expectation and what the President may say, we have full confidence on the President of the Republic, and we will be looking forward to hear the direction and the guidance.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says a national dialogue is necessary in order to have an inclusive participation in matters affecting the country, despite outrage that has emerged on the cost surrounding the national dialogue. Ramaphosa delivered the opening remarks at a meeting underway at the Union Buildings in Pretoria with the eminent persons group he appointed as ambassadors for the country's national dialogue. He lamented a low voter turnout in last year's elections as one of the main reasons for initiating the dialogue.
We have seen an increasing disengagement by many people from the democratic process, as witnessed by the turnout of people who did not vote in the May 2024 elections. The national dialogue, therefore, is an opportunity to mobilize South Africans to address these challenges and restore our country to the path of transformation, of development and progress.
Communications and Digital Technologies Minister Solly Malatsi has allocated 704 million rand to the SABC over the medium-term expenditure framework. The allocation comes at a time when the public broadcaster has faced financial challenges in recent years. Delivering his budget voting the National Assembly, Malatsi says a total of 7.8 billion rand has been set aside for his department over the medium-term expenditure framework.
The public broadcaster will receive 704 million over the MTF period. This includes 43 million for program production, 464 million to support the core public broadcasting mandate, and 197 for Channel Africa, which amplifies South Africa's voice across the continent. Furthermore, the department has published the request for proposals to develop a more sustainable funding model that is much needed for the public broadcaster.
Recapping the top story, a 31-year-old woman has been arrested in connection with the murder of 11-year-old Jaden Limig. Police say the suspect is a close relative of the boy. I'm Wandalambana for SFM News Headlines at 1:30.
This Mandela Month, Nelson Mandela once said,
"We have traveled a long journey. We have fought for peace and reconciliation, for social justice, for all men, women, and children."
SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. These are the weekend shows on SAFM. Music of Africa with Shayla Ndikumana. The Weekend View with Bongiwe Zwane. The Jet Set Breakfast with Michelle Constant. Seasons with Khomotso KG Mweketsi. The Soundtrack of Your Life with Ernest Pillay. Weekend Sundowner Classics with Kutlwano Masote. Spotlight with Zai Khan. The Weekend with John Kherika. Shifting Your Lens with Bertha Charuma. This is SAFM. SAFM is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio. You are listening to The Full Circle. Bertha Charuma on SAFM.
Wale Raison. Sophia Nzao, Wale Wale. Can never get tired of that song. Very vibrant, very colorful, if I have to say. And if this song was a color, it would be full of the reds, the yellows, the oranges. That's just how I see it. Coming up on the show, welcome to the Full Circle this afternoon. Starting off with legend Mangele, founder, CEO of the Bar Leader, a multimedia film and television business, and we'll be talking about the productions that he's actually put out there that are absolutely amazing. Also coming up on the show, the Feel Good Corner, Lungisa, singer-songwriter, will be joining us and also getting to tap into Lungisa's music. And I'm not so sure whether you do remember, but I will be giving you a little bit of background and insight, and we'll be unpacking quite interesting stuff from there. And in the second hour, screen, stages, pages, and more. Esoku Qala, a contemporary musical dance drama, we'll be talking to the writer, the director, and choreographer. That's Lakicele and Zinhlendelu, lead actor in the play, which actually looks at life from two different aspects. You've got the spiritual side, and then you've got the Christianity side. How do the two marry? Those that are into Christianity, there is a percentage that says you cannot actually mix the two. And then there's also a portion that is very spiritual, and they will tell you that, well, yes, with Christianity, you could tap into it, but spirituality, holds more water, if I have to say, or is more stronger, or they are more orientated towards spirituality more than Christianity. But we get to unpack that when we speak to our guests. And then also looking at the Full Circle Book Club, we're going to be speaking to Sewela Langeni, co-founder Book Circle Capital, and we'll be unpacking a couple of books that are, that could be books that you'd like to read, or maybe to inspire you to read them, and giving you rational reason why. I'm looking forward to that portion of the show as well. But otherwise, when we get back, we get into full access, speaking to founder, CEO of the Bar Leader, multimedia film and television business.
My name is Renelle Tamlin Donnelly, and I play striker. What do my teammates call me instead of my actual name? As you know, guys, because I wear weave, so they call me Slay Queen. Guys, I slay it, so yeah, my favorite hairstyle is a weave. Have I already planned my secret celebration for when I score my first goal at WAFCON? I have, but secret is the code, so tune into SABC Sport to catch my secret celebration in the WAFCON tournament.
Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
SABC News turns 75 on July the 17th, 2025.
Since the dawn of democracy, SABC News has grown into your trusted source for news and current affairs, shaping our nation and the world for the past 75 years.
From July 12th to the 17th, SAFM Current Affairs presents exclusive interviews with iconic presenters, producers, and news leaders.
We're exploring the legacy of SABC News, highlighting the voices that have defined our story.
Join SAFM for a week of compelling reports and unforgettable moments.
SABC News at 75.
Independent and impartial. You are listening to The Full Circle.
Full Access it is, a look into the work of founder, CEO of the Bar Leader, a multimedia film and television business. That's Legend Mangele and his new productions. Legend, good to have you on the show, and welcome, and thank you for making time.
Hello, Bertha. Hello to your listeners. Thank you so much for having me.
Look, you've been one busy producer and you've been churning out amazing productions. And this afternoon, we're going to be zoning into one of your productions, Inebo Labantu. Icebo labantu.
Yes, that's it.
I was just telling my producer, my C's and my X's and my Q's are absolutely
I
there, something else.
understand. I understand. Thank you so much.
Icebo labantu. And
There you go.
so I just want the listeners also to understand and get perspective as to what we're talking about. So let's start off with the trailer.
Sibizwe libale lebuhlungu kakhulu likaXoliso apho umphefumulo wakhe woquthwe emzimbeni. Kungishiye kabuhlungu. Ingabubulelo ubani.
Wayeshayikile la, shuthi wayeseyamqina. Ngifike kanje ngibone nje izilwane nje phakathi ehamba phakathi kuyena.
Kwangiphatha kabuhlungu kumbona uXoli esethathwa.
Ecebo labantu every Sunday at 5:30 on SABC1.
So, Icebo labantu, just to make you understand, for those that have not watched it, it's on SABC1, and they're announcing, the launch of the reality series. And what it does is, according to the latest stats from Stats South Africa, a significant portion of families, especially in under-resourced communities, face the heartbreaking reality of not being able to afford a proper burial. And so for many, the pain of losing a loved one is compounded by financial hardships, lack of support. So in response to this national crisis, actress, television presenter Thembisa Mdoda is stepping in forward as the voice of compassion and dignity with the support of Icebo Labantu and Icebo Letu Group, one of the country's leading funeral services provider. Mdoda will help South Africans who are unable to afford to bury their loved ones with dignity. And of course, on the other side of the line, I've got Legend. And maybe you can also help us unpack. And you're back with 2 new shows. This is not your first, so you're really, really seasoned in this industry. But let's start off with the story that is being portrayed and the launch of this new series that we're going to be watching on SABC1.
Yeah, I mean, just hearing the trailer, it sends chills down my spine, because a show like this is genuinely, it's like Kumbule Kaya. You never really get to get the opportunity of doing a show, yes, to entertain people, but also that helps communities out there. So I really felt blessed when somehow, the higher power gave me an idea and I could marry it with the brand. Of course, the idea just doesn't come out of nowhere. What I did was I came across, shocking stats, like shocking stories of people not being able to bury their loved ones. I mean, people haven't been able to bury since before COVID. And we know, I mean, I've lost somebody, a few people in my life, and we truly struggle sometimes when, we lose loved ones because death does come unannounced. And so, I almost imagined what the lay of the land would be like if we came out with something that could assist, but also spread awareness around this thing of us not being able to bury our loved ones. And that experience for me was, I guess, the trampoline that I kind of like jumped on to say, okay, cool, how then do people navigate, specifically when you lose somebody, let's say 5 years before you get to bury them? What does that look like, that mourning process? What does a family in waiting look like? And then when they finally bury them, after 5 years or 2 years or a week or 3 weeks later, what is that experience and what does that look like? And I thought that would be interesting to sort of like document and to kind of put up a mirror in society.
And then we've got the opening sequence song for the series, which was done by singer-songwriter Lwa Ndlunkulu. And it's very moving. It actually takes you through this journey where you can actually picture people mourning. But maybe let's go to the sick tune, and so that maybe everyone can be on the same page. Well, some will beg to differ to say, look, I don't feel the same way. But let's just hear the sick tune.
Icebo labantu
Creativity is something else, you know. How did you manage to team up with the singer-songwriter Loa to create a song that marries your thoughts so that they are in synergy?
It's such an organic process, I think, because the theme song itself was created through people knowing each other. I was looking for a tune. I thought I was just going to sing this myself because I sing in the car. But then I was like, okay, that's too much. I think I need to open up a bit more, send word out. And then, a friend of a friend, his name was Nkosa, let me not do him under, but Nkosa knew Ndunkulu's management, and I was just like, yeah, can we get her on? She sounds like a very emotional modern day Brenda Fassie. And that's what we wanted. We wanted that like texture in the voice. When Kumbule Kaya comes on, it's always like you just know the theme song, Kumbule Kaya. And so I wanted to have that type of song come through as well. Something that was catchy, nothing too long, but that was also emotional. And, it took us an hour to create the song in studio. That's how talented Law is. I had a different tune, and she was just like, no, let's do it this way. And it came out quite nicely.
Interesting. And then we move on to The Health Club, which is another series presented by Clement Manyatela on SABC 1 on Mondays at 6 p.m. Look, your brain must be on steroids as we speak, if I have to say so, because it's like you're churning out these amazing ideas that are so distinct and very different. How did this one come about?
I think I'm in my era of creating shows that have real impact. As a company, we've created shows that seek to entertain, but equally, I think, we've always wanted to necessarily change and shift culture. And I've never really been in this space before. Health is something that is very much a part of my life, and I wanted to necessarily create a platform for conversations to be had. Of course, we all grew up, taking care of our grandparents, whether it was a pain on the foot or whatever it is. I wanted to necessarily then be able to say, how can we live better lives? How can we necessarily have conversations that better our lives regarding health? I don't think that we practically put ourselves in positions that are better or that help us in the health department. So I really wanted to figure that journey out, and the Health Club came up, and I think that's the current vibe when it comes to TV right now. A lot of people are watching TV, but are they watching things that can help them navigate this modern life? And I wanted to do that. So I was able to partner up with a really good medical aid, GEMS, and the conversation continued. And I wanted to essentially have somebody who was at the forefront of conversations, serious conversations, and that's how Clement Manyatela comes in as well. We recently did a series with him called He Wins. Last year was a political year, and I think I enjoyed working with him, and so I wanted him to necessarily be in charge of this conversation as well.
You've also produced a number of productions, from Bing Bonang, Life with Kelly Khumalo, and also you've done work with Somizi, the reality show that a lot of people enjoyed with Somizi. Very outstanding, very defining moments. How did when you got to come up with those realities, what was going through your process, and how did you pick your specific individuals to say, I would like to showcase the reality of this particular individual and that particular individual? Was there a specific criteria that you used?
Yeah, I always look at culture. I always look at where things need to be, what it is that we need to do to contribute to us moving forward. So when you look at somebody like Bonang, a really celebrated personality, a really powerful personality, what does her life look like? And everybody who follows her or is intrigued by her, what does it take to be her? And so it's always in the name, like being Bonang, what does that mean? Life with Kelly. as you know, Kelly, I think, is a microcosm of the black woman in South Africa. I think when you look at Somizi, essentially, living the dream of Somizi, he seems to have, this big life, this dream life. And so it's always in the name when it comes to how we create our shows, because that is the production question. Like, what is it like being Bonang? What does life with Kelly look like? And we all know the story of Kelly from a public point of view, but we also don't know what happens in the background. So what does life look like with her? Living the dream with Somizi is also it's in the
legend.
name.
Sorry,
Yeah.
let's just hold the thought. We need to go to headlines, and when we come back, we continue with this conversation, and we can also, delve into the Somizi story. Founder and CEO of The Bar Leader, a multimedia film and television business. I'm speaking to Legend. Let's just go to headlines, and we'll be back.
Thank you, Bertha. On the news headlines, a 31-year-old woman has been arrested in connection with the murder of 11-year-old Jaden Lee Meek. Police say the suspect is a close relative of the boy. Institute for Security Studies Training Coordinator Willem Els has reiterated the view that President Cyril Ramaphosa needs to act swiftly in dealing with the allegations raised by the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. And Mpumalanga businessman Robert Gumede has paid his homage to the late former Deputy President David Mabuza. Gumede visited the Mabuza home in Barberton, accompanied by the provincial ANC chairperson Mandla Ndlovu. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
Is there ever a bad time for a good conversation? SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. You are listening to The Full Circle.
And it is Full Access, a look into the work of founder and CEO of The Bar Leader, multimedia film and television business. I've got Legend on the other side of the line. So we're talking about living the dream with Somizi. You also have Kwamamkize, which is also another reality show that you churned out. So let's take a look at the Somizi case.
Yeah. So I was saying, it's always in the name for us, how we create shows. We're obviously guided by, a lot more than that. Are these people worth telling, in terms of their story? Is it worth exploring? Are these things going to be interesting? We do a lot of research when it comes to our reality shows, and I think over the years it's proven to be quite successful. Like with Somizi, I think we got to see so much of his life, like when he was a single man to when he was looking to get married. To then us producing his big wedding, I think that's been the honor really of being next to these people and creating shows like this.
I think the nation got really excited when he got married. That must have been quite a viewing experience, and I'm sure the numbers were just amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, there's always a strategy behind the scenes. I think at the time, the Chosen Channel was launching their OTT platform, which is their, SABC Plus in a way. And so what we wanted to do was we wanted to marry that strategy with subscribers. And so it made sense for us to make a big spectacle of the wedding. Of course, the wedding was real, and it was two real people getting married. And so we all were really excited. And I think when we look back, even in 10 years' time, that would be one cultural moment that we celebrate.
And just looking at the industry, what are the most significant trends you've been observing over the years?
I would say, we've gone from let's show the good life, let's really celebrate our stories in South Africa, let's celebrate success. Although now I think post-COVID, we're looking for opportunities and we're looking for community, we're looking for help, we're looking for family, we're looking for a sense of being. And so any show that will come out of us in the next 3-4 years will be that of, nation building. I think we've lost a lot. We've experienced a lot. There's recession. There's COVID. There's so much that's happening. And right now, my concentration is unemployment. How do we solve unemployment with the gifts that we have as a company? And so there's a new show that I'm working on. It's called Job Seekers or Nas Hispania. I'm still kind of deciding. But I really want to bring back that old notion of Abo Take 5, Abo Zola 7, where people were really being helped and lives were being changed. You can imagine, people are looking for opportunity, but they don't know how to. And I think it's high time we built properties that make our industry better and make our country better.
And looking at, your work and also being in the industry, well, we know that we do get certain hypes. The reality phase came and I don't know whether it has left. I think it's still there. It all depends with who is being showcased. Do you see your company still using the same thought process, or are we going to be seeing something different? And also integration into the multimedias that have come on board. I'm sure they've disrupted the traditional way we've been consuming, and even for you, the traditional ways you've been producing, and also the platforms you've been, disseminating your content.
Yeah, I think as a company, we try our best to stay ahead, but also become quite available to the malleability of, just a company that's trying to always produce what's relevant, but also future-facing. Aspirational work is what we're into. Ethical work is what we're into. And so everything that I do, I kind of inform by what the moment needs. And so our company is one that is forever changing, but really remains its identity and DNA in the principles of trying to be the best for the moment. And so, of course, reality shows are forever changing. The genre itself won't go away, but the approach needs to change. And so when you look at The Real Housewives or, there's so many others that are out there, I think that will fade. But what will remain is that we are still interested, whether this time around it will be about a business person, something that is inspirational, something that takes us into an educational space, something that unlocks our minds, like how generations used to. I mean, we didn't know what advertising or what the advertising industry was, but we got to see that through properties like the Generations of the World, or Ifiding, or when it came to mining. So I really want to bring in that type of real foundational, principled production for the nation.
And any collaborations nationally, or partnerships internationally that we can expect?
So we are currently trying to figure out how we distribute into the rest of Africa. There are stories that are, relevant here and that are relevant in the likes of your Kenya. So you'll see that in the next few months or so, and God willing, we get this through. There's a morning show that I'm working on. It's called Good Morning Mzansi. But it's essentially a franchise that I want to see in Kenya. So imagine Good Morning Kenya, Good Morning Ghana. Those are the things that we're trying to kind of figure out now. But there's a new show as well coming through. It's called Good Morning Mzansi. It's going to be on SABC 1. We're really in the final stages of fine-tuning the show. And that is also like a different perspective in how we're producing. We want news, but we want good news. We want community news. We want people who are changing lives within their communities to be highlighted. We want to bring back that patriotic spirit that South Africa used to have. And so that's what we're busy working on as well.
Well, we're speaking to our guest, that's Legend Manglele, founder and CEO of The Bar Leader, a multimedia film and television business. And it's been awesome speaking to you. But before I let you go, I know that you've spilled quite a bit of beans, and we can expect, or should I say spilled a lot of tea of what we can expect. Do you think you'll ever do anything that we've never seen before? I don't know. I'm just thinking in my head, could there be anything that is groundbreaking?
Yeah, I think right now there's a huge transition in the market. TV really needs to stabilize, and we need to go back to the familiar. I think I have tried my best to be quite innovative in the market. I think that's what we're getting wrong with creatives. Like, we're too much in the wild. I think wait on God and you hope that we get something revolutionary, something that changes, the world of TV. But right now, we just want something familiar and something more stable. the market isn't, and so we need to, as creatives, just huddle and figure out how we define the next era. So that's coming, but I don't know what it is, because part of being a creative is just wait and hope that God grants you the opportunity of that, of something new and something amazing.
Legend, thank you for making time, and all the very best. Of course, we'll be keeping tab and checking how the shows are doing. And also, if whatever is bubbling or whatever is exciting that comes your way, do let us know. Thank you so much. Have yourself a good one.
Thank you so much, guys.
And bye-bye for now.
I'm Shakira O'Malley and I'm a centre back. What I like so much about living in South Africa is the beaches. So being able to go to the beach and just relax and just let go of literally everything. I had a good laugh this morning at breakfast. I think we were all just having a conversation. Everybody was interacting. If I won $1 million after a good game, I'd definitely not tell my teammates. Definitely not. I'm taking that $1 million and going home. Tune in to SABC Sport to watch Banyana compete in the AFCON and defend another title.
Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
Join us for this year's fundraiser, Jazz for Young People concert at the National School of the Arts on the 26th of July. This unique event, perfect for families, is a powerful celebration of youth, creativity, and community spirit. So bring the whole family to enjoy a wonderful day of world-class jazz curated by Zoe Mudicha, featuring the Parktown Girls Band, Tshwane School of Music, The Real DJ Zandi, Kutlotaro Jazz Band, and many others. Tickets are just 80 Rand and 50 Rand for kids under 12 via Quicket. Jazz for Young People is proudly brought to you by Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. The soundtrack of your life with Ernest Pillay.
They were more than just songs. They were the backdrop to your best days and the ones that change everything. The soundtrack of your life with me, Ernest Pillay, brings you iconic classics and hidden gems that spoke to your heart then and still do now. Whether you're driving, relaxing, or just remembering, let the music take you right back. The soundtrack of your life with Ernest Pillay. It's about your past, your story, and it's all right here on your favorite station, Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4 p.m.
This is SAFM. SAFM is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio. You are listening to The Full Circle.
Been grinding, doing it coco. Every day, feel like so loco. Keep moving, winning like crow. Not built for this small call. I've been grinding, doing it coco. Every day, feel like so loco. Keep moving, winning like crow. Not built for this small call. I've been grinding, built for this money. I'm being like I'm nani. Zola, no love, no love. I've been grinding, I'm built for this money. I'm being like I'm nandi. Zola, no love, yeah. Dusty streets are not my portion. Them same ones set this poetry in motion. Daily devotion, the dreams that I'm holding. Yeah, thank God for my family. Yeah, that's my only sanity. A 5-star location, a secret vacation, new wave elevation. Sanele in Sokolo, Sanele in Sokolo. sanele insokolo, sanele insokolo, yeah. Okoko, okoko. I've been grinding, doing it okoko. Every day, feel like so loco. Keep moving, winning like croak, croak, croak. Not built for this small call. I've been grinding, doing it okoko. Every day, feel like so loco. Keep moving, winning like croak, croak, croak. Not built for this small call. I've been grinding, I'm built for this money. I'm being giddy, I'm nani. Zola, zola, no love, no love. I've been grinding. I'm built for this money. I'm being giddy, I'm nani. Zola, zola, no love, no love, yeah. I've been grinding.
Okokoko. That's the title of the song. Lungisa Ngamela. And after Haitians fueled by the hardships in the music business, Lungisa, a Summer Award-winning cool guy with vocal prowess, is glad to announce his latest single, which we've just played, Okokoko, a song about endless resilience for those in hot pursuit of their dreams. And the new journey is one that isn't new to many in the music fraternity, a journey of independence with sounds so freeing. One can hear the shackles dropping with every thump of the log drum, and Fully Independent Project promises to make you dance. I don't know whether you danced, but I definitely was tapping, serving you intricate harmonies and well put together chords, and the melody absolutely awesome. Lungisa, good to have you on the show. This is the Feel Good Corner. Your story absolutely inspiring.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So you started singing and then Summer Award winner. How did that happen? Because you know this industry is very tough and there's so much competition.
Yeah.
And clearly I think this validated your talent and you felt, look, I can do this. Maybe if we could go back to the beginning, how it all began. Started singing at a very young age?
I did. Thanks for having me on your show. Really appreciate it. I probably started singing at like 12. Engondweni, that's where I started singing. My mom was the one that always, actually forced me to sing, and I used to cry. But from there I grew. Obviously, I grew and entered, a show called Five and Idols, where people know me from. And I grew my brand from there and won the Summer Award. Took a back seat a bit, and now we're here.
And you were once in a group, an a cappella group?
I was.
How was that?
In Gonzwen, it was called Tonality. For me, I'm very rich in my music, so we used to listen to a lot of a cappella music. I still do. And I guess that's what started, me being really immersed in true music, intricate music that speaks to you and music that challenges you as well. So you can even hear it in my music. There's a lot of harmonies, a lot of intricate things that other people would miss. So yeah.
And joining, or should I say, joining the, South African Idols, it's not something you just wake up and do. I'm sure it was bubbling in the back of your mind. What triggered the moment when you decided, I'm doing it now? And did you ever anticipate to be one of the 8 finalists?
I've always loved the show, man, Disakula. Always loved the show. I used to watch it with my parents. And I knew one day I'll be on the stage. I just knew it, that one day I'm going to be on the stage. I was like young. I was like about 16, 17, 18. Growing up, I'm like, okay, when the time comes, I'll be on the stage. Went in 2014. It was not successful. Not a lot of people know that. But I came back. I'm like, you know what? To think that her dad quit, you know what I mean? So that way I went back and, yeah, from there it was much better than before because I was so prepared, from the music I chose, from the story that I had, the genuineness that I carried, and obviously how I looked and presented myself, also played a huge part. So yeah, I was one of the most loved on the show, and yeah, I knew I was going to be in top 10, and I made top 10.
And then let's talk about Okokoko very quickly. What can we expect the rest of the album? I know this is the main song, which is absolutely beautiful. What else can we expect from the album?
Let's talk about Okokoko first.
Yes, yes.
That's the most exciting thing we have going on right now. Okokoko, it really speaks about like what it's a hustling, a person that's grinding, umdu that each and ngoma basanele intokolo sanele intokolo. Yeah, well, it's and then it goes, just these streets are not my portion. Then someone said there's poetry in motion. It really just says that these dusty streets are not my portion, fam. And if you believe that I wrote this song, Dikala go back room. That's how bad it was, and it's someone that says, I'm really tired of living or being in a state where I shouldn't be. But the crazy thing is that you wouldn't hear it in the music because of Ingati, the superstarness is inside of me, no matter what I'm going through, no matter what my surroundings. So you'd hear it in the delivery of the song. You'd hear it in the writing of the song. You'd hear it in the swag of the song. You'd hear it. You'd think already he's living in his mansion. Already he's driving his Ferrari. Can't you know? Ulapa in his back room, and he's just writing from a pure place of grinding and really wanting to be where he's supposed to be. That's the writing part. And then the sound is a very South African sound. It's a fusion of. South Africa right now is what's looked at, right? So I had to bring a bit of piano, a bit of log drum, but it's there and there, certainly, it doesn't have to be everywhere. And then there's also Afro beats, Afrobeat. Nigeria is going to love this song. So it's a fusion of all this, and then my vocals there with the R&B, so all I can say, it's a different song, something that no one has heard before. So I'm really excited for South Africa to hear this. It's dropping on the 25th of July. Now, in about, 2 weeks. And we did a great job here, man.
So 25th of July, it will be readily available and we'll be hearing it on air. Well, we've already played it on air, which is absolutely fantastic. And I can only wish you all the very best. And also just let us know how it all pans out and how it is received. But I think it's going to be a hit.
100%. Could I get my socials out there?
Absolutely.
You can get my Facebook as Lungisa Nathan Kamela, or you can find Lungisa Kamela SA, and then on Instagram Lungisa Kamela, on Twitter Lungisa Kamela, and then on TikTok Lungisa Kamela as well. So yeah, follow me on all those pages. And the pre-save link just came out today. So guys, please go on my socials. You find it on my bio. And let's get the song pre-saved so that on the day of its release, it can be amazing, man. Let's do this. Thank you so much for the interview. And I also want to say thank you to fans, the people that have been supporting me while I was going through the most. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. That's Lungisa Ngamela, singer and songwriter, and we've just played Okokoko.
My name is Renal Tamlin Donnelly, and I play striker. What do my teammates call me instead of my actual name? As you know, guys, because I wear weave, so they call me Slay Queen. Guys, I slay it, so yeah, my favorite hairstyle is a weave. Have I already planned my secret celebration for when I score my first goal at RAFCON? I have, but secret is the code, so tune into SABC Sport to catch my secret celebration in the RAFCON tournament.
Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. 30 years ago, a moment united a nation. From Ellis Park to every township and village, we stood together. One people, one dream, one victory. Now, the vibration rises again. From the heart of Mzansi to every corner of the country. The four-time world champions, the mighty Springboks, take on the Azuri in a clash where history meets destiny. This is more than a match. It's a country moment, only on SABC. Celebrate the 30th anniversary of our 1995 Rugby World Cup victory. Watch South Africa versus Italy, Saturday 12 July at 4 p.m. Live on SABC2 and streaming on SABC+. Also available on SABC radio stations at 5 p.m. Download the SABC Plus app now. Switch, stream, no subscription. SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
The National Pulse, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
What is your take on what was said?
I support Dr. Letabe wholeheartedly. And very funny today, or let me put it this way, everybody who gets their salary from the fiscus, that means from the public service, they are entitled to subsidies on their medical aid to use private hospitals. And that subsidy is 70 billion rand, starting with the president. If there's a policy that they must all use public hospitals, that 70 billion will immediately accrue to the public hospitals and will be able to improve them. If I can tell you what I can do with 70 billion rand, you'll understand exactly why I'm agreeing.
Minister Aaron Matsoleli.
Ashraf Garda on SAFM. Find the podcast at safm.co.za. SAFM music, crafted to make you feel real good.
As the night moves in,
Handpicked just for your pleasure. Classics sounding so good, only on SAFM. Bertha Charuma on SAFM.
Been grinding, doing it coco. Every day, feel like so loco. Keep moving, winning like coco. Not built for this small call. I've been grinding, doing it coco. Every day, feel like so loco. Keep moving, winning like coco. Not built for this small call. I've been grinding, I'm built for this money. I'm being like I'm nani. Zola no love it, no love. I've been grinding, I'm built for this money. I'm making it like I'm Nandi. Zola, no love, no love, yeah. Dusty streets are not my portion. Them same ones set this poetry in motion. Daily devotion, the dreams that I'm holding, yeah. Thank God for my family, yeah, that's my only sanity. In 5-star location, a secret vacation, new wave elevation, yeah. Sanele in Sokolo, Sanele in Sokolo. Sanele in Sokolo, Sanele in Sokolo, yeah. Okoko, Okoko. I've been grinding, doing it okoko. Every day, feel like so loco. Keep moving, winning like coco. Not built for this small call. I've been grinding, doing it okoko. Every day, feel like so loco. Keep moving, winning like coco. Not built for this small call. I've been grinding, I'm built for this money.
As Okokoko, I like the calypso fusion to the song. And I think it's going to be a hit. It's going to be a big hit. So my technical producer actually said, you know what? This is such a summer song. Easy summer song. You could be in Durban, you could be in Cape Town, and you're sipping on something fantastic. It's hot, and you're just cruising. It's going to be a total absolute hit. And also that type of a beat, that type of melody, the Nigerian fusion melody, it is the in thing. Beautiful and very universal. It's like I'm the one who wrote the song. I know. No, I'm not the one who wrote the song, and I'm not getting paid to talk about the song. I just love the song. Let's go to the news. It's 2.
Thank you, Bertha. On the top stories, weather warning issued for parts of KZN and arrest made in connection with Vleuhof murder case. For SFM News, I am Ondelambana, and a very good day. The South African Weather Service has issued a weather warning for disruptive rainfall that could lead to localized flooding in areas along the coast of KwaZulu-Natal. These areas include Durban, KwaDukuza, Mandeni, Dwedwe, Umdoni, Umlalazi and Umzumbe. The Weather Service say the areas should brace for 30 to 50 millimeters of rain. The rains will persist from this evening into the weekend. The body of the former Deputy President David Mabuza is scheduled to leave the B3 mortuary in Mbombela, Mpumalanga, where it has been kept since his passing just over a week ago. It will be transported to Mabuza's family home in Barberton, approximately 30 kilometers away. A guard of honor of his former ANC comrades, together with friends, family and neighbors, has been arranged to receive the body. Mabuza will be given an official state Category 2 funeral at the Hoërskool Blackfam in Mbombela tomorrow and will thereafter be transported back to Barberton for burial. A 31-year-old woman has been arrested in connection with the murder of 11-year-old Jaden Lee Mick. Police say the suspect is a close relative of the boy. The grade 5 learner's bruised body was found in the staircase of a complex in Vleuhof, west of Johannesburg in May, where he lives with his family. The learner was dropped off by his school transport at the complex, but according to the boy's mother, who was working from home at the time, her son never made it home. Gauteng Deputy Provincial Commissioner Major General Fred Gegana says they cannot rule out more people being arrested.
No, we can't rule anything out, but for now we have one warrant of arrest which we just executed now, and the suspect is detained here at Roodepoort Police Cells. Monday, the suspect will be appearing at Roodepoort Magistrate Court. I'm calling all those people who were holding placards. They must still come. They must support these things not happening. And they must also comment and appreciate what the police have done.
Institute for Security Studies Training Coordinator Willem Els has reiterated the view that President Cyril Ramaphosa needs to act swiftly in dealing with the allegations raised by the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. During the media briefing on Sunday, Mkhwanazi accused Police Minister Senzo Mchunu of being in constant contact with individuals linked to criminal activities. He also accused some senior police officials of being involved in corruption. The presidency has confirmed that Ramaphosa will on Sunday night address the nation. Els says there's need for swift action.
You know, the president, he almost dragged his feet to deal with a situation or this situation of this magnitude. This is very different from many of the previous ones that have been dealt with by the ruling party. And if they're going to deal with that in a similar fashion as they dealt with the others, like for instance with the state capture and the Zondo Commission, very selective in the evidence, very selective in adhering to any of the recommendations.
U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs have dominated the talks of the group of Southeast Asian nations in Malaysia. Many of the attendees have been threatened with import taxes of up to 50%. Trump has threatened 30% tariffs on South Africa if a new trade deal is not reached by August 1st. The U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio attended the ASEAN gathering. The BBC's Jonathan Head has the details. details.
Marco Rubio did show up, and people often say that's half of the success of being involved in ASEAN, just showing up at meetings. But he had absolutely nothing to offer on tariffs, and that's the main concern. President Trump's tariff war, which is really what it is for these countries that are so export dependent, has completely overshadowed this ASEAN summit. There's enormous frustration about how erratic they are, how damaging they are.
Recapping the top story, the South African Weather Service has issued a weather warning for disruptive rainfall that could lead to localized flooding in areas along the coast of KwaZulu-Natal. I am Ondelambana for SFM News Headlines at 2:30.
They all believe they will be crowned champions, but gold medallions are reserved for the best of them all. It is the incredible clash of the 12 African women's national teams. Catch all the 24 matches of the Cap Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024 from 5 to 26 July 2025 on SABC Plus, S3, SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4 and SABC radio stations. Where Africa competes, South Africa connects. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
This Mandela Month, SAFM celebrates the spirit of Ubuntu, calling on all South Africans to engage, uplift, and do good for one another. Let's share what we have, lend a helping hand, and honor Madiba's legacy through kindness and action. Join SAFM as we bring you powerful conversations, inspiring stories, and voices that drive change all month long. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
Hi, I'm Zycard. Catch me every Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. on Spotlight as we bring you blow-by-blow sporting action, news. That's Spotlight every Saturday. You don't want to miss it.
SAFM Music. Good times, good memories.
I'm just like somebody
Old school sounding so good. SAFM Music, with you wherever you go. Living your best life on the Full Circle. Bertha Charuma on SAFM.
Oh,
Zakes Bantwini Osama. Beautiful vibe to the song. It just speaks Friday afternoon, ready for the weekend. Well, coming up next, Esokala, a contemporary musical dance drama, playhouse drama, that's starting Saturday, 19 July at 6 p.m. In Bazwana Arts Center, 23 August 2025. And we're going to be speaking about this musical, absolutely fascinating. And the storyline behind it is also very, very intriguing. And I'm looking forward to speaking to our guest. I'm talking about Tandanani Gasa, music director, and plays acoustic guitar and percussion on the show. Bazini Msomi, musician, and plays the character of the grandmother. When we get back, we unpack.
The Atlas Lionesses want to demonstrate that the only satisfying result is a win. Meanwhile, the Teranga Lionesses want to brighten the evening of the Senegalese with maximum points. The North collides with the West. This is the Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024. Morocco is up against Senegal on Saturday, 12 July at 8:30 p.m. Streaming live on SABC Plus and S3. Where Africa competes, South Africa connects. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
It's all about fresh fish and vibrant flavors on the Tastemaster SA this Tuesday evening at 7:30 on SABC2 as our top four visit the Hout Bay Harbour for a crash course in seafood the old school way. Then reel in a gourmet seafood takeaway experience of their own. Who will sink and who will swim into the semi-finals? The Tastemaster SA, Tuesday evenings at 7:30, repeat Wednesdays at 1 and Sundays at 4 p.m. on SABC2.
SAFM music, crafted to make you feel real good. Handpicked just for your pleasure. Classics sounding so good, only on SAFM.
Stages, pages, screens, and more on the Full Circle.
Hamba zinyangele bube, 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 hamba zinyangele bube. Hamba zinyangele bube, hamba zinyangele bube, hamba zinyangele bube, hamba zinyangele bube.
That is Zinyane Limbube, soundtrack from the show. So the show is all about music, dance, drama, telling a pertinent story of the new South Africa, the spiritual conflict between the old world and the new one. Does a 3-stop in KZN tour, playhouse drama, that's 19 July at 6 p.m. at Imbazwana Arts Center in Mukanya-Kude District Municipality. On the 23rd of August, they go on to, as well, they're also going to be performing, there will be a possible performance in Pietermaritzburg. So just to give you what this is all about, the premise is about a family of doctors who are prominent Christians in the community, giving birth to a child who is strongly indoctrinated by ancestral powers. And the parents and those close to them need to critically examine the battle of spirituality, make some difficult decisions. Can we honor one's ancestors while praying to a Christian God? Big question mark. And Esokukala presents traditional versus Western beliefs and the place both have within the family and the contemporary society. Is there a solution? And can a compromise be made? And can it be made authentically with African tradition and the Christian worldviews? And we often find there's always this friction when it comes to your spiritual, ancestral background, and then where Christianity is involved. The Christians will most probably say, well, you don't have to engage into your spiritual world because it seems like you're now speaking to the dead, and it just gets a little bit complex. But I am so looking forward to speaking to those that have come up with this complex dynamic of a story. I've got Tandanani Kasa, music director, plays acoustic guitar and percussion on the show. Bazini Msomi, musician, and plays the character of the grandmother, also on the line. Good to have you on the show.
Hi, good afternoon. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much.
And thank you for making time. Let's start off with the song itself. Zinyane Limbube. What does it stand for? What does it mean?
Oh, Zinyane Limbube. So there's a scene in the play where the boy is basically being propelled, to go answer his calling. So that's what the song does. It echoes that message. Just say you have to answer this calling that you've got. You cannot ignore it. Hence, hamba Zinyane Limbube. So it's a very powerful, interesting scene in the play.
And the story itself, how was it created? Where did the idea come from?
Well, that would be the genius thinking and works of the director, who is also the writer and choreographer of the production, Mr. Lucky Cele. I don't even know how he came up with this production, or rather this expression of what is a common dilemma for quite a lot of people. But yes, he does a lot of great works that speak to issues that a lot of people face, especially Black people. So yeah, I've had the honor of working with him for quite some time, and this is one such masterpiece where he tackles a very sensitive and complex and just a multi-layered topic. So yeah, he's got a creative mind like no other, and I'm just honored to come and interpret what he wants to tell through music.
And what was the initial musical vision for the play? How did you interpret the core themes and the narrative of the drama and the musical landscape?
Well, okay, when I came on board, excuse me, the one thing that I understood was that the cast has to be very versatile. And I have to be versatile first in understanding the different sounds that we need to portray, that we need to deliver authentically. Because on this journey, the boy that has a calling, he goes through so much. He visits different establishments, he visits different churches and religious spaces and or spiritual environments. And each of these environments and churches, they've got a particular style of singing, or expressing music or worship. So whether it's a Zion kind of a church, then everybody has to adapt to that particular sound, instrumentally and vocally, but also just the thinking and approach behind it. And then we I don't want to give away too much detail, but then again, maybe we find even a charismatic church, right? And so the music and the expression of worship and praise is different there. So that's the kind of versatility I had to have before I even work with the singers and the cast and the musicians that are involved. And I think it's been a nice challenge for everyone who's a part of the show.
I always wonder, maybe you can help me understand. What came first? Was it the rhythm? Was it the melodies? What was it? Because normally when people are creative and they're musically inclined like you, they'll tell you, no, it was the words and the words took me somewhere. Or someone will tell you, no, it was the melody. Then the melody took me to the words.
Look, I'd say there's no particular script, weird thing to say considering we're doing a theater production, but there's no particular script as to how their creativity plays itself out. The interesting thing with this particular theater production is that the director, who's the writer and the choreographer, is also very musically inclined. So he has written a lot of the music that the people are actually going to hear. So he has his own creative processes. I think usually from what I've observed just over time having worked with him is that he's usually driven by a message. It's not just songs that have melody, but even the melodies and the rhythms are informed by the message that he wants to deliver, through that particular song for a particular scene, if it's in the case of a theater production. But for me, as a music director, honestly, it can be anything. It can be, I hear music everywhere. I hear notes, I hear, from birds, from the pitch of the honk in the car, So anything can really inspire me, from how someone will pronounce a certain word and the intensity of how someone speaks. So many things inspire a song, an idea, an arrangement, a piece of music. And so bringing all of that in to interpret the music that Mr. Cele has written has been a nice challenge, but also a fun experience for me, because the cast is really talented and the singers, everyone is just great.
Now, I want to come to Bazini Msomi, musician and plays the character of the grandmother. Thank you so much for joining us as well in this conversation.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am. I'm here.
Yes, so when you play the grandmother, what was your thinking when you were approached to say, look, come and be part of such an amazing, drama, and playing the grandmother and the complications of spirituality, Christianity? As a grandmother, I'm sure you were expected to come up, as the play unfolds, you are the solution finder.
Oh, yes. At first, I was thinking it was difficult character, because they told me that grandmother knows everything in the village. So I was like, how can I portray that? Because that grandmother, umuntu othanda kakhulu abantu. So then I sat down, then I analyzed my character. But the difficult part of it's differentiate between the character of a grandmother and where I'm in the church, because I have to transform. There are so many characters that I'm playing in this show, because we have Isonto Lasem, Maweseli, Shembe Sonto, Shembe Church, yes. Also Izayoni, isonto labasindisiweyo, and wonke lamasonto ngikhona phakathi, and fanele ngiwahlukanise, and ama-characters akhona ahluke, and bese ngiba nale character ke manje na futhi ya grandmother, of which le character grandmother iyona ethwele futhi story ukuthi ngazi yonke into eyenzeka ekwi-village, and fanele ngisize nalo mfana lo ofuna i-calling yakhe.
And then coming to you, Tandanani, taking the music, infusing it with the acts, are there any particular pieces or type of music that you felt they really, they touch you? Because just like anything in life, we've got favorites and we've got moderate and we've got average. Are there any that stand out that really evoke your emotions?
Okay, please, I don't want to sound like I'm saying I have a favorite song or anything. I don't particularly have a favorite song, because they're all so beautiful. But I think it's the more African songs, speak to the calling of this young man. They are really so powerful, because they intensify the moment. So, for example, the one that we did just before it started, just the little snippet, Hamba Zinyane Limbube. When you see the actual scene and hear the voices in person, it is just so compelling. It's that powerful. So I'd say Zinyane Limbube is one such moment which really, really moves me. And there's a lot of solos that are in there, so you get to hear the different voices that the cast has got. They display such beautiful range and character. So yeah, Zinyanelembo is one such standout. But then there's also, what else is there? Ngatwasele Maweni. There's also a very short piece. It's called Ngatwasele Maweni. It's really, really beautiful. It's intense. The cast has embodied the music finally. I wouldn't say it was like that from the onset, but finally at this point, as we near the production, I do feel that the cast now really embodies the music. So it's no longer just them trying to remember arrangements and notes, but they understand the story, and so they know the kind of intensity with which they must approach each and every song. So yeah.
And then without really giving away everything, because we want people to go and watch and experience for themselves and interpret for themselves. As the production is unfolding, maybe from your perspective, what lessons do you think whoever is watching is going to take away, if at all there is a lesson that they will take? I can only imagine the kind of a lesson, because Christianity and spirituality, we know that it's almost like oil and water.
Oh, there are many lessons. I won't lie. I think maybe I'll speak to the fluidity of spirituality in its entirety. You know, that it's not all so black and white as we may think, and that's one thing I recognize or realize as this production is unfolding. Nothing is as simple as it seems or as it sounds, and that's part of what this production actually says. There's a bit of everything almost everywhere, and that's the beauty of watching this boy go on this journey. You know, you hear the different perspectives. So when he goes to this church, and so his issues or what is challenging him, the calling or whatever is haunting, and I say haunting in inverted commas, does not change, right? But he changes the environments that he tries to address this haunting, so to say, right? And they have different perspectives. They give different perceptions of what it is that has possessed this boy and what needs to happen. And I think that's really, really interesting. What can I say? It becomes hard even for me to pick a side, to say, you know, which church do I feel maybe addresses this issue properly? It's difficult, you know. I guess the audience will have some decisions to make, you know, upon watching the show. It helps you introspect as well.
Yeah.
You know, it forces you to ask yourself questions about your African identity, your spirituality. Where do you stand? And do you stand there because you were taught that, or because, you know, that's how you feel? So it's really multi-layered, but that's one of the lessons I would say, stand up, the fluidity of spirituality in its entirety.
And Bazini, what lessons do you think maybe you have taken away?
Yeah, the important one that I've seen in this show, as parents, we must listen to our kids, because in most of the time we are always saying to them, umingane kutshela into samncane awukwazi lokho, kufanele sibalalele ukuthi bathini kuthini, then we are going to take it from there. Asikwazi ukubacabangela, more especially mengabe usukhuluma ngomntwana oseno 18 years. Lowo muntu lowo useyazi ukuthi yini right yini wrong. As ama-parents thina fanele sibalalele abantwana bethu bese senza okufanelekile and follow into esizwa ngaphakathi ukuthi this one is going to make my kids to go far, to grow as I want them to grow.
That's Bazini Msomi, musician, plays the character of the grandmother, and also we've been chatting to Tandanani Gasa, music director, plays acoustic guitar and percussion on the show. Thank you for making time on the show, and all the very best. Playhouse drama, Esokuqala, a contemporary musical dance drama, and starting Saturday 19 July 6 p.m. Ambazwana Arts Centre, 23 August 2025. So something to look forward to. It is 2:30 and it's time for news.
Thank you, Bertha. On the news headlines, the South African Weather Service has issued a weather warning for disruptive rainfall that could lead to localized flooding in areas along the coast of KwaZulu-Natal. The body of former Deputy President David Mabuza is scheduled to leave the B3 mortuary in Mbombela, Mpumalanga, where it has been kept since his passing just over a week ago. And the trial of alleged July 2021 instigator Bonginkosi Khanyile has been adjourned to 29th September for the state to lead further evidence. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
The Twiga Stars want to impress the Tanzanians with maximum points, while Banyana Banyana won nothing but a win as a reminder that they are the continental champions. This is the Group C clash of the Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024. Catch the glittering clash between Tanzania and South Africa on Friday 11 July at 8:30 p.m. Streaming live on SABC Plus, SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4 and S3. Also available on SABC radio stations at 9 p.m. Where Africa competes, South Africa connects. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 450-gram Bokoma Wheat Bix original only for $27.99 and save R9. Or 1 liter liquid fruit for just $26.99. Save R11. Plus, you could win your share of R6 million in instant cash. Price is valid until 21 July 2025. While stocks last, T's and C's apply.
I'm Michelle Constant. Join the JSB crew and I every Saturday and Sunday morning between 7 and 10 a.m. We promise to keep you informed and entertained with innovation, culture, cars, travel, life learnings, environment, and of course, your big fat juicy. Small stories, big ideas, massive inspiration. The Jet Set Breakfast on SAFM.
Hello friends and welcome to Nali Bali. Have you ever talked to someone but they weren't listening? Listening is an important skill that helps us learn, understand and show kindness to others. When we listen carefully, we can hear exciting stories, learn new things and help our friends when they need us. Being a good listener means paying attention, not interrupting and showing that we care about what others are saying. It makes conversations more fun and help us build strong relationships. Today's story is called Zippy's Big Jump, written by Joanne Bloch. But before we listen to today's story, let's all get up and...
Six little grasshoppers were learning how to jump. At first, they couldn't jump very far or high, but soon they were experts.
Jumping is so much fun!
Shouted the smallest grasshopper, Zippy. She whooped as she propelled herself into the air with her strong back legs.
Zippy may be small, but she can leap right into the sky,
said Zippy's grasshopper friend. Zippy had jumped very high, but she hadn't thought about where she would end up. When she landed, she found herself in a very strange place. A mother and a little child were strolling through the park where the grasshoppers lived. The mother carried a paper plate with a slice of chocolate cake on it, while the little girl held a shiny red balloon. Zippy landed right into the woman's hair, her tiny feet prickling and tickling the woman's head. Startled, the woman screamed. As she reached up to feel what had landed on her head, the slice of cake began to slide off the plate.
Oh, no, my cake!
Cried the little girl. She reached out to catch the cake, but lost her grip on the string of the balloon. which soared up into the sky.
Oh no!
The little girl wailed as the balloon sailed away, forgetting about the cake. The cake slid off the plate and landed on the pathway in a messy lump. With the cake and balloon lost, the little girl's cries echoed loudly in the park.
My cake! My balloon!
Meanwhile, Zippy, frightened by the noise, hopped about on the woman's head. When she saw the balloon passing, she reached out with her sticky little feet, closed her eyes, and jumped. She landed on the side of the balloon and clung onto it tightly. Up, up, up went the balloon. Far below her, Zippy could see the girl and her mother. As Zippy watched, they seemed to get smaller and smaller until they were just two specks on a big green square of grass. For a while, Zippy floated just above the trees. She was almost enjoying herself, except for a little terrible thought.
Why am I so high up? Where am I going? Wait, how would I get home?
The sounds from the park grew fainter and fainter, leaving Zippy alone with her thoughts. Suddenly, she heard a new sound, a long, slow hiss right below her. The balloon began to descend slowly. The air was leaking out of it. Down, 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 faster and faster. Zippy had just enough time to see the branches and leaves rushing at her before she heard a loud, loud sound. A sharp twig had pierced the balloon and it had burst. Zippy was flying into the tree. Luckily, she managed to land on a small branch. But the danger wasn't over yet. As Zippy was catching her breath, she saw a huge bird fluttering towards her.
Oh no! Oh no, no, no! That monster's gonna gobble me up! I have to escape!
Thought Zippy. She took a deep breath and jumped for all she was worth. Zippy flew down. This time, though, she landed on top of a toy car that two children were playing with. It made a swishing noise as it sped along a smooth concrete path. As the car slowed down, one of the boys grabbed it. Then he noticed Zippy.
Hey, come look at this. Ooh, I'll take you home and keep you in a jar.
He said.
What? A jar?
Zippy gasped. She did not want to live in a jar. But before she could escape, the boy scooped her up and put her in his pocket. It was very dark in there, and Zippy couldn't work out how to escape. All she could do was wait. Soon, she heard a voice calling.
Sammy, it's time to go home.
A woman's voice shouted. She heard the boy saying goodbye to his friends and then felt herself rocking about as he started walking. But only a few steps later, he stopped again.
Oh, wait, Mom, wait. I want to pick some grass. I found a grasshopper and I want to keep him home in a jar.
Zippy heard him say.
Oh, okay. But hurry up,
said the woman's voice. Zippy felt the boy bending down. He started stuffing his hands full of grass into his pocket, causing it to bulge out with each handful. Soon, the pocket started gaping open, allowing light to filter in, and Zippy could see a way out. Quickly, she curled up the nearest blade of grass to the very top of the boy's pocket. Just as he reached for the last grass, she pushed off and leaped as far as she could. The boy was so busy with the grass that he didn't even see her go. Zippy jumped so many times that she grew tired. Then suddenly, she saw something that lifted her spirits. She was back home. Only a few more jumps, and there, her friends were playing, racing and laughing.
Hey guys, here's Zippy.
Said one of them.
Oh my gosh, Zippy, where did you go?
Oh boy, I went everywhere.
Said Zippy, and her friends gathered around her eagerly, ready to listen to the story of Zippy's big jump.
And so we come to the end of another Nali Bali story time. Today's story was called Zippy's Big Jump, written by Joanne Bloch. Did you know that reading and telling stories to children at home can help them do better at school? If you want free stories to read to your children or for your children to enjoy on their own, visit the Nali Bali website www.nalibali.org or Mobi site www.nalibali.mobi. You will find stories in 11 South African languages, as well as tips for reading and sharing stories with your children to grow their potential. Also look out for the bilingual Nali Bali Reading for Enjoyment supplement with great children's stories and activities, available in newspapers. Nali Bali, it starts with a story.
SAFM is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio. Living your best life on the Full Circle.
And coming up at the Full Circle Book Club, what are the book titles we need to consider reading this month? What's on your list? Maybe you can always share with us as well, so that we get to know. And you know how it is when someone tells you the book that they're reading, you get to know who they are. Partly, not fully, but partly or partially rather. Speaking to Sewela Langeni, co-founder Book Circle Capital, and we're going to be exploring and looking at books most probably you ought to add to your list. Take a read and also let us know what you think of those particular books. And Sewela is online. Good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Afternoon, Bertha. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for making time. So we're starting off with, I know I've got a list of books that I've got here that we're going to be exploring this afternoon. Journey Kwantu, In the Late of the Night by Ntombi Nkabinde. I also have Zizi's World Through Her Vanilla Eyes. Those are children's titles. Dance to Your Own Beat, Refilwe Mwahloli. And the list goes on. But kicking off with the first one, Journey Kwantu, exploring African spirituality and identity. And I think it carries the theme from my earlier interview where I was talking to two artists and they are performing a musical that has to do with, Christianity and spirituality, basically intertwining the two and finding the middle ground.
So the book is actually born out of a podcast that the author Vusumuzi Ngande has been doing for some years. So he explores exactly that. Where do these two collide? And just over the years, he's been doing some research, historical research, lived experiences, over 100 years to just identify where do we belong as Africans and as far as spirituality is concerned. Where did the various political events, historical events, impacted our spirituality over the years. So that's what the book actually explores, from O Mama Bamanyano to the church to the healers that we see today, and various identity issues from exploring our surnames, our clans, and how that impacts our spirituality. He goes through various topics.
So I also looked at some of, the titles or the themes that are followed within the book, death and the afterlife. And it seems like lately I've seen a lot of people doing a lot of investigation when it comes to death and afterlife. The authority of ancestors versus power of God. practical matters like performing rituals in urban areas, how it is viewed, and how other people that are not of the same culture find it a little bit overbearing, understanding lineage, its impact on one's spiritual life. I would really love to get my hands on that book.
Yeah, so he touches even stuff that we've come to believe about, that people will come to believe about ancestral worship. He questions some of the stuff, around surnames, to say you'll find lately people are saying, oh, things are going a certain way because I'm not connected to my patriarchal side of the family. He's even questioning that, to say if surnames evolved, people didn't always call themselves what they call themselves now. Can we really put some weight behind that? So he questions everything. He questions everything, wanting people to be sure about what they believe and they actually understand what they believe. So yeah, it's definitely a worth reading title if you want to explore your spirituality and your identity.
And then the next one, In the Late of the Night by Ntombi Nkambinde, where there's a character, Nomzamo, yearning to have her own child, but husband keeps postponing.
So this one gives me that, characters follows 40-something girlfriends who are navigating, the complexities of life in Johannesburg, from relationships to careers to, I think at a certain age, maybe you are hoping to be at a certain place. So she's just following these characters. You mentioned Nomzamo, and then there's Kioni, there's Jasmine, who are exploring these, and Asanda. One is independent, top of the game, wanting that perfect man with a perfect life. One is also wanting, one is asking about, will this guy that I've been with forever commit? It reminds me of, there's a Cynthia Jele quite long ago did a book called Happiness is a 4-letter word, which was then done into a movie. So it's along those lines. And at Book Circle Capital, we're going to be launching this book on Saturday, the 26th of July, where the author Ntombi will be in conversation with Lorraine Setole discussing this. So this is always a nice one for book clubs, where there's the highs and the lows of finding love in the city.
So it's all about love, it's all about power, identity, justice,
yes,
freedom, and the whole works.
And the whole works, yes.
So something to look forward to. And then we go to the children's titles, Zizi's World Through Her Vanilla Eyes by Refilwe Modisile.
Yes, Refilwe Modisile is a well-known media personality in the country. She's a model. She addresses, so she has albinism, and she addresses the issue of albinism through the eyes of this young character called Zizi. And through the book, she's addressing issues on inclusivity, diversity, educating readers through either as parents reading to our kids or as teachers reading to the kids, or just children in general, to just understand the issue of albinism and how, we have to foster social integration. So it's her own personal story, but told through the eyes of a child. And yeah, it's another exciting title. We've been seeing books like this where authors are using also, books to raise a cause for various issues, and Refile has joined the fray, and we are also launching the same book on the same day, 26th of July in the morning. So we're honored to have her there talking about this book.
And of course, I'm speaking to Sewela Langeni, co-founder Book Circle Capital, and this is the Full Circle Book Club, and just looking at some of the books that you want to read, and you can share with us also on 061 410 410 some of the books you would suggest we must read. But otherwise, this afternoon, zoning into Journey Kwantu, exploring African spirituality and identity, and In the Late of the Night, we've also got Zizi's World Through Her Vanilla Eyes, we've got Dance to Your Own Beat. When we get back, we continue with the conversation. And maybe you've read the books. And what was your take? What was your experience? What did you take away from the narrative of these, of the content and the context that you find within those books? Share with us 061 410 410 7. Let's take a small break. We'll be back.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, Think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable for you. Whether it's a civil, criminal, or labor-related matter, we have a nationwide panel of attorneys standing by to assist you. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195 and we'll call you back. Clientele General is a licensed non-life insurer and an authorized FSP. Standard rates and terms and conditions apply.
The National Pulse, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
What is your take on what was said?
I support Dr. Lekabe wholeheartedly. And very funny today, or let me put it this way, everybody who gets their salary from the fiscus, that means from the public service, they are entitled to subsidies on their medical aid to use private hospitals. And that subsidy is 70 billion rand, starting with the president. If there's a policy that they must all use public hospitals, that 70 billion will immediately accrue to the public hospitals and will be able to improve them. If I can tell you what I can do with 70 billion rand, you'll understand exactly why I'm agreeing.
Minister Aaron Matsule.
Ashraf Garda on SAFM. Find the podcast at safm.co.za. These are the weekend shows on SAFM. Music of Africa with Shayla Ndikumana. The Weekend View with Bongiwe Zwane. The Jet Set Breakfast with Michelle Constant. Seasons with Khomotso KG Moeketsi. The Soundtrack of Your Life with Ernest Pillay. Weekend Sundowner Classics with Kutlwano Masote. Spotlight with Zai Khan. The Weekend with John Kherika. Shifting Your Lens with Bertha Charuma. This is SAFM. SAFM is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio. Bertha Charuma on SAFM.
And if you've just tuned in, this is the Full Circle Book Club. Some of the books that we're suggesting, myself and Sewela Langeni, who is a co-founder, Book Circle Capital. Some books that you maybe ought to consider and read. Also give us feedback once you've read them, if you will be able to. I'm sure we'll be revisiting at some point. So we started off with Journey Kwantu, which explores African spirituality and identity. And this is by Vusimuzi Ngande's popular podcast of the same name, delving into South African spirituality, identity, beliefs, how it all evolved over hundreds of years. And the book, really delves extensively and does a whole lot of historical research, lived experiences, interviews with healers, teachers, and ordinary people trying to live out their truth and understanding where and how we take Christianity, how we understand it, spirituality, our tradition, our culture, and infuse the two, and how it is that we reached this particular juncture where we somehow struggle to find the middle ground. It's quite an interesting read. And also In the Late of the Night, this is a fun reading book on Ntombi Nkabinde, as our guest highlighted. Nomzamo yearning to have her own child, but husband decides let's postpone, and what can actually unfold. I don't want to give away too much, because then, if you give away the whole synopsis of the book, then you feel, what's the point of reading the book? But anyway, to my guest, Sewela, welcome back.
Thank you.
So we're talking about Zizi's world through her vanilla eyes, and I think you gave us quite a little bit of some insight as what the book is all about and the messaging behind it.
Yes. Shining the light on albinism and promoting, inclusivity and diversity. She's a model, as I mentioned earlier, and you would know better that for a long time beauty was defined in certain ways that was not inclusive to everybody. And I think through this book, Refule Modiselle is trying to change the narrative around this so that other children that come after her can feel seen, and heard in this world that we exist in.
I see she highlights quite a lot of, her themes are of kindness, of courage.
Yes.
Self-love.
Yes. Definitely. Courage to maybe a child that then is born with this condition, but also to those that maybe may see those children being treated unfairly in society, kindness to, in general, just understanding people who are different. And those are some of the things she explores through this book. And even as an adult, I could relate to those. It's a kiddies book, but it's a book I can relate to, and that I'll definitely enjoy to reading to kids for time to come.
Then Refilwe Moahloli writes, "Dance to your own beat."
Yes, Refilwe is a well-known South African children's book author. She literally does maybe 2 books a year. This is already her 2nd book this year. It's an inspiring story. So the previous character was Zizi. Here, this character is Zazi, who dreams about dancing, but she's too scared to try. And she, battles with questions like, what if she's not good enough? What will people say? But with encouragement, her parents help her face her fears, and she finds courage to listen to her heart. So those who know Refile's work and have seen her read, she's very energetic. Almost every book comes with a song. So we are excited that we're going to be launching this one at Book Circle Capital on the 19th of July. And I'm sure it comes with a song. So also the stories around finding your voice, the stories around, there's those things that maybe you feel like you can't do, but it's just showing you that, with a lot of support from those around you, you can do it. So it's another exciting children's story that I look forward to. Actually, the books just came out today, so I haven't even seen a copy just yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
And once again, Sawela, Journey Kwantu, when is the launch?
Journey Kwantu, we actually we launched it last week Saturday, the 5th of July. Mm-hmm. But if you follow the author, I'm sure, or the podcast, Journey Kwantu, you'll see what else he'll be doing, where you'll follow him and attend events. But unfortunately, this one at Book Circle Capital has already passed, but we've got copies in store. And I know a lot of the topics that are in the book are captured in the podcast. So if people could also find the podcast on any, reputable podcast platforms, Journey Kwantu will be available there. But yeah, unfortunately for our side, it's already passed.
And then in the late of the night?
That is on the 26th of July at 2:00.
And then with the children's Zizi's World Through Her Vanilla Eyes?
It's same day, 26th July, but in the morning. Our kiddies launches are normally between 11 and 12:30.
And then the last one, Dance to Your Own Beat.
Yeah, that's Saturday, the 19th of July, between 11 and 12:30.
These are the book titles maybe you need to consider reading this month. Maybe not this month, maybe next month. Also give us some feedback. Sawela, thank you so much for making time. Co-founder Book Circle Capital chatting to us. That's Sawela Langeni. Well, I suppose that wraps up the show. It's almost time for news. And if you've missed the better part of the show, just to give you the rundown of what you missed, spoke to legend, founder, CEO of The Bar Leader, a multimedia film and television business. Also on our Feel Good Corner, spoke to a singer and songwriter, that was Lungisa, that we spoke to, and screen stages, pages, and more. We spoke about Esokuqala. It is a contemporary musical dance drama which is already in production at the moment, and you can actually go out and watch it. Also, the Full Circle Book Club, which we've just finished with Sawela Langeni, and the 4 books, Journey Kwantu, In the Late of the Night, Zizi's World Through Her Vanilla Eyes, Dance to Your Own Beat. From myself and the team, the technical team, and my content producers, it's been fantastic. Have yourselves a great weekend ahead. Ashraf is up next.
Thank you, Bertha. And the team on the top stories, a weather warning issued for KZN and Mabuza's body transported from the mortuary to his home. For SAFM News, I am Ondelambana, and a very good afternoon. The South African Weather Service has issued a weather warning for disruptive rainfall that could lead to localized flooding in areas along the coast of KwaZulu-Natal. These areas include Durban, KwaDukuza, Mandeni, Ndwedwe, Umdoni, Umlalazi,